answer the first question before we answer the second question, Nana, yeah? So what happened, Ismail, he married in a tribe called Jurham. So prior to that, they found the well of Zamzam. It started gushing out of the floor. To this day, it still gushes.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, but let me finish on.
Yeah, because you're saying to this day it's still gushing. Isn't the majority of the water in Saudi Arabia through salination?
No, it's not. I think 10% is from salination.
So it's through...
it's not through Zamzam.
So it's coming from the Zamzam?
No.
He's from Saudi, by the way.
No, I'm telling you. I'm not from Saudi. I think this guy's from Saudi, yeah. Where are you from? Jeddah?
No, Dammam.
Dammam, yeah? Oh, I'm in Sharqiya as well.
Salination, right?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
On the coast, it is from...
Yeah, in Jeddah, there's salination.
And then on where Mecca is?
Mecca is up on the coast.
It's on the other side, right?
No. No, sorry. Let me. So you got the Hijaz. He's in the Hijaz side. So Jeddah is on the side. That's when you fly into it. And it's about an hour in. But the questions have to lead to somewhere. Because you've asked one question, you've gone that way and this way. So let's answer. Most of the water isn't from salination. It's about 10 to 15%. That's what the government statistics are. Yeah. The other ones are. I'm not saying Zamzam feeds the whole of Saudi. No. But the fact that it's sold in every single shop in Saudi Arabia in bottles. It provides a lot of water, and this well is from the time of Ismail. So Ismail, he was there with his mother, and they were dying of starvation. That's why we get the rites and rituals of Safwa or Marwa, yeah, in Mecca, yeah. So this is the first time that we had residents in that area of Bakka, in the valley of Bakka. Abraham, which you lot call the father, he left Hajar in this area, and he done so at the command of Allah. And Hajar turns to him and says, Ya Ibrahim, are you leaving us? He walks on. She asks again, Ya Ibrahim, are you leaving us? He walks again. I'll answer that. And then she asks again. She says, is this by God's will? And he says yes. Finally he says yes. And she says we'll be fine if that's the case. But
so what the issue is, right? I'm going to be honest. From an academic standpoint, when somebody asks you these questions and then you give like a historical narration, but you're not saying where the archaeological evidence is. Out here in a space like this, people are going to listen. But in academia, it's not going to be regarded. So the main thing I want to know is, if you're in a desert, how are people surviving without knowledge?
That's what I was just answering.
And then also the archaeological evidence for this Mecca. The archaeological evidence for Mecca. You said the Kaaba.
No. This is one off the top of my head. It's not all of them.
So the Kaaba is the archaeological evidence for Mecca. The Zamzam River, you can see it.
It's not a river.
Sorry, the Zamzam
it's
well.
It's like a reservoir. Yeah.
The Kaaba's here. The Zamzam well is what? How many feet away?
I'm not sure how many feet. It's an underground reservoir. What is it? I don't understand what it's... Okay, one second. So, Nana, let me explain something.
My thinking is this. Let me just explain my thinking.
Where's the archaeological evidence for Abraham?
One second. No. I'll get... No. This is what I'm saying, yeah.
How can you...
Am I not allowed to ask the question?
No, you're allowed to, but I'm just saying...
But he said that you can't have double standards. One thing. No, understand. He's got a good point, yeah?
No, he's got a tremendous point. Yeah. I'm not disputing.
So, but the only...
I'm just saying, if I ask you for the archaeological evidence, you could say to me, well, this is the archaeological evidence we have, and then I can go away with that answer. So, right? But I'm just saying...
But what is are you disputing...
If there's a civilization there, because supposedly, who was it that built the Kaaba?
So let me get to that, yeah? First of all, let me address, because you asked quite a few questions. First of all, I understand your academic stuff, yeah? But you don't come to a car park and then ask academic, because academic things are written in books.
Exactly.
It's never so... And as an undergraduate, as a historian, you should know you should never go to a street and ask someone to provide you evidence which are academic in the form of a book. Now, if you have doubt, if your first inquiry... No, please, don't ignore him. No, listen.
He's got a good point.
Yeah, I'm telling you at this point I don't. But doesn't mean it doesn't... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't listen to him. No, do you understand? No.
I just want to say
one second, I haven't finished, Billah. I haven't finished.
I beg.
Because you asked so many questions.
He interjected. It's very, very important, because Mecca is the holy city. Okay, that's where the Kaaba was first built. If you have no archaeological evidence for Mecca...
No one said that. You know what I'm saying? I said I can't find... One second. I know, I'm saying I'm not a historian.
There's no archaeological evidence, but you go by the physical and textual evidence. That takes into consideration.
One second. We'll catch up. One second, Nana.
What text evidence outside the Quran is there?
One second, Nana, listen. Nana, you ask a question and you answer, listen to him, and then you listen to him. No, I wasn't. Just listen, Nana. You bringing in everyone into the watching.
I didn't.
You're bringing everyone in. I'm speaking to you. No. Okay, no. So when you ask a question, let's ask one question. Let's try to answer it. Yeah, you can't ask academic questions. You can, but you can't expect. Listen. Listen.
You as well. You two are both very learned. These are elementary questions.
No, they're not. Asking. No, it's not. Okay, what is the archaeological of Abraham?
That's
Abraham. No, it's elementary. What's the archaeological evidence of Abraham or John the Baptist? Go on.
Hold on a second.
No, it's archaeological evidence. By your standards, very elementary. What's the archaeological of John the Baptist?
Hold on. You make a point.
Hold on. Here's what I'm asking.
Or Joshua. How about the kings? How about who wrote Genesis?
Now you're asking numerous questions.
This is exactly what you're doing.
Hamza, do you know what I'd rather do?
Let's say for the sake of argument, we agree with you. Let's say
Yeah, I'd rather have a one-to-one.
That's what we're doing.
No, we're not. We're having, it's with an audience, and I think sometimes.
Oh, you mean the thing?
Unnecessary pressure. You see what I mean?
Okay.
Because my questions are very genuine. You know, as a historian.
And what you said is correct.
Hey, speak to me. Speak to me.
Elementary question.
Okay, look. Let me answer some of your questions. You raised them in. Let me ask some of them. No.
Hold on a second. Maybe you've got a point in this respect. I'll tell you the point you've got.
No, but let me answer one question at least. One question. Yeah? Okay, basically I was saying Ismail. I'm not. You have to listen.
Don't go around.
Ismail. He was there. Look, are you listening to me, Nana? Wallah, you came to me and you asked, please. Yeah, Ismail. He was the son of Abraham. Abraham left him with his mother Hajar in Bakka. That was known as the Valley of Bakka. Water gushed forth, and it said in Sirah ibn Kathir, you want archaeology, we give you historical evidence, not always archaeological.
Exactly.
We have manuscripts, yeah? Ibn Kathir, the historian, Mu'arrikhin, one second, he records, and the people before him, Ibn Ishaq and Ibn Hisham, we have lots of historians. Listen. I'm giving you evidence. No, I'm giving you evidence, yeah? He says that the tribe of Jurham, by following what the Bedouins in the desert do to this day, seeing that the birds are circling in a certain area, they know that water is there. So the tribe of Jurham came to this region where they agreed with Ismail that they would share this water source. To this day, this is still how Bedouins live. They are travelers. They move to area and they set up civilization. And you can't deny this because Makkah is in the middle of a desert. It's not a coastal city. And we have a bustling society and civilization there. How did that arise if that's not how it works?
That's not how it works.
Do you understand? No.
Don't give it all you don't know.
Yeah. Did I not give you historians?
Outside
Like history. Do you deny history?
Sorry.
Outside of Islamic sources, is there any verification for this?
Well, not that I know of now. No. That I have. Yeah, sure. Go.
There's no validation outside of What's this? Yeah, to me, do you want to stand aside?
Your thing is over.
Wait, no. Just because there's no archaeological evidence, that does not make unhistorical. So let's concede there's no archaeological evidence.
That's a possibility.
How does that show that Makkah is unhistorical?
Because that's the way history.
Which one?
No, you have physical evidence, you have textual evidence. It's not just okay, physical evidence meaning there's remains, skeletons.
He's got one.
You have textual evidences.
Carbon dated to that time.
Bible.
He's got one.
Carbon dated to that time. The skeletal remains.
Yeah, that's physical remains.
Yeah.
That's physical evidence.
Look,
just because there's no
It got a bit messy.
Okay, no. Okay, so. Oh yes.
historical evidence.
That's what he's asking.
History is classed
History is not based on
a
scientific method.
Yeah.
Guys, can I say
I'm going to catch up with you on a one-to-one. I
say something? Can I say something? Yeah. So I'm going to read you
one question.
You have John Damascus as well.
Oh, please, Nana.
Sorry, I thought you were talking.
I'm going to read something from a newspaper, the Evening Standard. Yeah?
Appeal to unqualified authority. That's what it is.
In London, the Islamic Heritage Research Foundation predicts some 98% of the Kingdom of Saudi's historical and religious sites have been destroyed since 1985. Just months before the Saudi government approved the demolitions, the BBC during its January 2014 podcast, Beyond Belief, Archaeology and Religion, explored underscore just how difficult a job Islamic researchers have in excavating pieces of history from the part of the world. Irene Ria, the podcast host, put the question to Professor Tim Insol, archaeologist, Al-Qasimi, Professor of African Islamic Archaeological at Institute of Arab and Islamic Studies. Mr. Ria asked, the study of archaeology in Islam is quite problematic, like you're saying, because a lot of the evidence has been destroyed because it reeks of idolatry. Professor Insol replied, I would say there are incidents of where this sort of evidence has been destroyed. We had one in Timbuktu where there was some shrine destructions going on, but there are still many shrines surrounding it. I think the issue is to do with the understanding of Islamic practice, that there are different varieties within practice and the overall structure of Islam. So I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish. I think where the destruction has taken place, from which we could have learned an immense amount, it is in Saudi Arabia itself. In particular, the great sites of Mecca and Medina. If work has been possibly there, then we would have learned a lot. Both Saudi, can I finish? Both Saudi and foreign archaeologists have not been able to work, and particularly those two sites, Mecca and Medina, are more generally in Saudi Arabia until the last 10 years or so. These two sites are so sensitive in some ways. There is, for example, in Mecca, immense rebuilding that is going on that must be destroying the archaeological record. So this is an academic, as you said. He specializes in archaeology in Islamic law.
One second. Let me control this a bit. Nana, you ask a question. Come here for. Sorry, Mala.
I'm going to circle back.
I'll be circling back.
No, don't listen. Nana, as a historian, this approach to only use history as archaeology. One second. Only archaeology. No, let me speak, please. Only archaeology.
I didn't get a chance to respond.
Oh, go on, respond. Go on, respond.
No, I'm going to circle back because I've got to speak to these guys as well. But what I will say is this, the same sort of like, in academia, and I know, because when I was reading history as an undergraduate, the conversations that were going on about how to substantiate evidence, if you're going to build a whole belief system on the idea of a particular city, but then when you go to that particular city and you conduct any sort of historical research, there's no historical evidence, there's no archaeological
No, who said that?
Well,
Who said that?
Alexander the Great.
No, you made a claim.
There was no water.
No, you made a claim. You made a claim there. You made a claim. Now prove that claim that there is no evidence.
It was just a statement.
Huh? Okay, yeah. One second. Like Ghana exists. When was the first mention of Ghana?
I wouldn't be able to.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean that there is no evidence. I'm saying that I don't have it. One second. Yeah, I know. This is exactly what I said, but you reject it. Joseph of Aramea. One second, Nana. Joseph of Arameus. Show me where Arameus is. Do you believe in the burial of Jesus? Be honest. Do you believe in the burial of Jesus? And is this a crux matter of Christianity?
Hold on a second. We're changing the topic here.
No. I'm showing you the flaw in methodology. No, Nana. I know, Nana, but please follow me. Nana, but please follow me.
1 second.
Please follow me.
I asked you about archaeological evidence and the first mention of archaeological evidence from Mecca, the first mention of Mecca. The first mention of Mecca, historically speaking, is 741 AD.
I'll dispute that.
That's it.
Yeah, Becca is in the Bible as well, in the Old Testament.
And then I said archaeological evidence. You said the only archaeological evidence you know of is the Kaaba. And I said, okay, I'll leave it there for now.
But what I'm saying now, Nana, what I'm saying is your method is flawed. Nana, listen. One second. No, one second. You asked me a question. I should be here. Joseph of Arameus. Okay, I will present it. Okay. Joseph of Arameus, yeah, this is a person from the Sanhedrin who they say condemned Jesus to death. And they say that when Jesus died, this is what the Christians said, Joseph of Arameus, who we don't know his history, he pops into the story and he buries Jesus. However, scholars have said that this Arameus, it makes no sense. We don't know where Aramea is. So who is this figure? He serves no purpose. We don't know nothing before and we don't know anything after. His only purpose for having his name in the Gospels is the burial of Jesus. That's the only thing. And the burial of Jesus is needed to say that Jesus died. And they need to say that Jesus died because that's the crux of the Christian's belief. So using his methodology, his whole religion, it breaks down. So what's good for the geese is good for the gander. If he can say that's Islam, or me rather, it's my inequity, and I don't have a problem with saying I don't know, this is part of man. If someone comes to me and asks me about the archaeology of India or Bangladesh, I don't know. I'm not a historian, I'm not concerned about it. If historians don't contend this issue, I'm not going to contend it. Do you understand? No one contends the sky is blue. You won't hear people arguing about it. People don't argue about things, or people argue about things which are contended. People don't argue about things which are not contended. So I don't have a problem with saying I don't know. Likewise, he would have to show us the judges in the Bible, the kings in the Bible, all of the lands in the Bible, archaeology evidence of cherubims and dragons and all of this in the Bible. He won't be able to do so. So his methodology, it just crumbles, and his whole religion takes him down with him. But he wants to use that standard against Islam. Anyway, the angels, they said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, La ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. Oh, glory to you, Allah. We don't have any knowledge except that which you teach us. Jazakumullah khair. Do you want to say anything?
I just want to say what I read out, because he talked about academia. He said academia, academia, academia. And when I quoted Professor Tim Insel, archaeologist, and Al-Qasimi, Professor of African and Islamic Archaeology at the Institute of Arab and Islamic Studies, and I quoted to him why there is no archaeological record and the reason behind it, he didn't respond.
He didn't.
His response was, I want to circle round. He didn't address the point. He said a fallacy. He said there have been archaeological digs and there is a lack of evidence. False. There have not been archaeological digs. False. They have not. That's what I say.
Can I say something, please?
No. no, we're not here to debate. Yeah.
You talking about Jesus?
No.
I have a right to answer you here.
Go down there and talk.
I have a right to
go
answer
down
you
there
here.
and talk.
So loud.
Go on there.
About Joseph of Arimathea.
I'm not going to engage with this
you
guy.
talk about Joseph of Arimathea. Show me from the
Where's
Quran.
Where is Arithmea? Where is Arithmea?
Where
is Arithmea?
You are a Shia.
I know.
Muslim is a Shia. Muslim is a Sunni. Show me from the Quran. Show me from the Quran.
Not Christian.
So
he's Christian, but he doesn't know.
If you can't show me from the Quran that you are a Shia or Sunni or Wahhabi or Ahmadiyya or this and that and 73 and 73 sects, and you cannot even decide which one will go to heaven.
Finish.
Which one will go to heaven?
Finish.
Can you tell me which one will go to heaven?
Okay, thank you very much.
You have to apply the same thing for your.
Okay, how you doing, sir? Come forward. Welcome to the madness. What Islam like? You're Muslim, yeah?
Yes.
Are you from Syria or?
No.
You're UK, mashallah, Allah Mubarak, yeah?
For 1,000 years.
Yeah? Oh, wicked. What town is it? Step forward, you don't mind?
I don't want to be a
Okay, no problem. Stay there. Yeah, Tunbridge. Okay, excuse me.
Islam is a lie.
Tunbridge, yeah? Tunbridge. Sorry, I'm a bit ignorant about my geography in Kent, yeah? Oh wow. And what made you convert to Islam?
From what faith?
I was agnostic.
Agnostic.
I was born into an atheist household.
Wicked, and then you become Muslim,
Very
mashallah.
racist family.
No.
So it made me learn about Islam because I was like, what's this? Everyone's saying, no, it's going to take over their bag. I thought, I'm going to learn about it. And then the more I learned, I was like, shit, I think I'm enjoying it. I might be agreeing with it. And then I was like, it took 2 years. And I was 2 years.
Come forward. Sorry. You turn your face. Turn your face. You get the cameras behind.
My mum told me, he said, don't get on camera unless you're.
No, we're not debating. Yeah. So I'm going to debate.
Story,
So I took 2 years.
Yeah.
And,
Wait there, so your intent on studying Islam was a negative one?
yeah, 100%.
What was it? I understand this influence and there's a lot of propaganda, colonial times, and they say Muslims are like this and that. But people are living with Muslims. Again, the idea that a lot of these stereotypes are being shattered. So when you was reading about it, some of these stereotypes were going and you were enjoying it.
I was loving it.
Tell me about it.
So I loved Jesus already, because our school took us to church. But my mum was atheist, my stepdad was like Britain first. He used to have fights with the neighbours for being black, Asian. And just something in my brain was like, you've got to learn about this so you can either fight it or you become more knowledgeable. I hate being ignorant for no reason. And then the more I'm reading about, and I had a real thing against Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I thought all the things that, the nasty things that people say, and I thought, right, I need to learn about this and learn what it's really about. And he's the first thing I fell in love with was the Prophet. And I was like, oh my God, this man is like, he was a leader. And I had a few nights where I was crying and stuff, and I become very depressed. And I said, I've got to go to the mosque. I was going to do something silly because I was really depressed. I rung my local mosque and I said, brother, listen, I need help. I said, I don't know where to turn. He said, listen, you need mental health help. He said, bring the hospital. He hung up, and I was like, right, I've got no support now. I thought at least I could do this, and then he rung me back 5 minutes later. He said, Saint's telling me to bring you back. He was like, can you get to the mosque? I said, I live up the road from the mosque. He said, do what do, come to the mosque and pray. And when I got there, I was like, I can't pray. I can't get on my hands and knees, because this is what people like, this isn't my culture. And it felt ridiculous. And the first time I did it, I always wanted to prostrate though, but not like a Muslim. So the Saint telling me, don't do it, obviously shaitan. And the more I did it, the more I loved it, and the more I wanted to, and then every Surah Al-Fatiha come to me so quick.
MashaAllah.
Yeah. Now a lot of my brothers are 1 of 10. They're becoming Muslim.
MashaAllah. You're 1 of 10.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, that's a good family, man. That's what Britain needs. It needs big, strong families. Dude, don't you think Britain needs Islam? Like for identity, they need a cohesion. The men need to be men. Yeah, they don't need this feminism, liberalism. Even Christianity has sunken under the influence of all this. So if you look at the tradition of Brits or Englishmen, the women used to cover. The women used to